Hello, I'm here in the Tower of London, and we just finished 2 days of a Global Insurance Partner Conference. We brought together partners from over 25 countries and 6 continents to talk about the insurance industry. So we really got a great diverse set of views and opinions as we met with our clients and had a roundtable discussion on many important topics. But let's start with macro trends, macroeconomic trends first. And one of the big issues that we see is that the interest rates continue to decline. In fact, when we track the 10-year government bond yield, we see a notable decline in many major countries from the early 2019 to now. And when we look at real GDP, it's the same story. Real GDP since 2017, 18, and then 19 in most, not all, but most major countries in the insurance market have declined. And finally, when we look at some of the trends around world trade volume and some of the challenges we've seen in the last couple of months, that's also year on year floating in the negative territory. Other global trends around the insurance market are that we see that global insurance premiums since 2010 to now have grown at a CAGR that's less than global GDP. So while global GDP is low, in fact, global insurance premiums have grown at an even lower rate. So really, we've been studying some of those macroeconomic trends as we think about the industry. So one of the big words we've been talking about is transformation, and we know that there's a lot going on in the industry, discussions about transformation. What we think is really happening is a great strategic rethink of the industry, because the truth is that cost-cutting measures can only go so far. And as we look at the increased M&A activity and some of the other new entrants and insurtechs and the opportunity to work with them and the emerging technologies, we think that what's going on is a great strategic rethink of the industry. Of course, you can't be at a global insurance conference without talking about IFRS 17. Now, we know there's a lot of discussion in the industry, and many countries are looking at it in very different ways, as well as the regulators. There's no doubt that IFRS 17 is a tremendously huge exercise for many companies, but at the same time, it also creates tremendous opportunities to improve some of those legacy processes and technologies that have been used in the finance function. And so we see companies starting to take advantage of the transitions that have to occur with IFRS to move more into transformation of their finance function and their technologies, especially in areas like driver-based planning and budgeting. So we think there's a tremendous opportunity and companies are really starting to take advantage of those opportunities as they go through their IFRS 17 implementations. So here I'm talking to King Henry about what the great strategic rethink means today in terms of the insurance industry. And we recently did a study, KPMG and Accord, around operational efficiencies. And what we saw is that while companies today have been focusing a lot on process improvement, process standardization first, and legacy system fixes second, when CEOs were asked, what's the future? CEOs, COOs, and others in the operations space were asked, what's the future? What do you plan to spend your time on? And process is still first, although it had declined in percentage, but a big increase in intelligent automation. And to us, this implies that companies are starting to say some of the quick fixes or some of the not so quick fixes need to be have more overhaul in the automation space. Of course, intelligent automation is going to trend forward, but really what we've been seeing is a lot of bot fatigue in the industry. The bots can only go so far. In order to get true scale and automation, one needs to look at the end-to-end processes, and we spent a lot of time on what that really means for the industry. And finally, the big layover here is that you can't forget about talent. And the big talent conversation is that you are going to need to change talent, but many CEOs think that jobs will not be eliminated, although they absolutely will be different. And so that's the state of play in the insurance industry.